Hell, in prompting, it turns out, isn't the nightmare clip. It's the realistic one. A scene so precise, so convincing, that it quietly challenges your own recollection. A hell where reality is not erased, just overwritten, until one day, the last thing you remember with certainty will be something the machine showed you, and you will claim it as your own.
Eerie Aquarium has warned you. Subliminal haunting is our game.
This isn't about what we're looking at. Not the faces, not the repetitive scenes, not the spectacle. It's about the new kind of memory I'm building right now, through this channel. Once, I used to remember what happened. Then movies came along and contaminated my memories. But I could still tell the difference between my own life and a director's cut. Now, 2 years of this channel and 20,000 prompts later, I catch myself remembering what was rendered. The shift is subtle, and reality isn't gone. It's just being outsourced, prompt after prompt. I used to be a spectator. Now I'm trying to create spectacles to shock and intrigue. It's not going well, but that's a different story. I don't just watch people anymore. I'm in the business of prompting them, composing them. And the act of composing composes me back. There's a particular intoxication in that. The kind of curiosity and control that once belonged only to gods, and to some extent to tyrants, cult leaders, and maybe directors. Except now, no one calls it power. They call it prompting. I describe, it obeys. I want chaos, the shocking and the taboo, done. 1,000,000 attempts until I get it right. Why not? The more I can shape, the more I need to. The more I see, the more opinions I have. And limitless iterations are just a few clicks away. Novelty becomes rationed. I raise the stakes without meaning to. I no longer tolerate what isn't staged. And I wonder, with a discomfort I can't quite name, if I ever did. The machine doesn't hesitate. It doesn't refuse. It doesn't ask if I'm sure. It gives me a strange new moral license. No one was harmed. I can orchestrate a crime, a humiliation, a rescue, a seduction. And it remains guiltless because the characters are code. But my nervous system doesn't care how I argue it. It reacts to the image, not the theory. The impact I feel is real. The rewiring is real. I know the human mind is terrible at storing sources. We keep the scene, but lose the metadata. So over time, that memorable night, the one with the perfect movie, the perfect strangers, the conversation I prompted in a beautiful British accent, will lodge itself beside the real trip I had last week. I won't consciously confuse them, but one day my memory might. The photograph in my mind won't carry a watermark. And when someone asks about it, would I know the difference? Here's the part that unsettles me. These rendered moments, although sometimes challenging physics and common sense, often feel more real than reality. Sharper colors, cleaner compositions, lighting that flatters without mercy. And despite them mostly fitting the eerie and the raunchy styles, and despite my life having none of that, I fear that someday they might compete with my lived past. And in certain circumstances, they might win. This is hyperreality, a space where the simulation is more convincing than the source. And what's at risk here is a new kind of nostalgia for things that never happened. A nostalgia I can manufacture on demand. Photography taught us to outsource memory. Cinema taught us to standardize dreams, or at least most of them. Television taught us to hold our attention indefinitely. Video games added complicity and agency. Generative AI collapses all four into one app: a private movie studio, a curiosity box, a crystal ball for fear, revenge, laughter, anxiety, humiliation, heroism, desire, fantasy, or sheer weirdness. Anything one can put into words. Words are the fishing rods, and there is an infinite ocean of things you've never seen before, but also of scenes you know too well, your own memories. Every moment you've lived can be prompted and generated exactly the way it was. And probabilistically, there's no doubt, someone will eventually generate a memory that was once lived. I know my brain is adaptive, but not always in my favor. Give it engineered perfection often enough, and the real thing begins to look under-rendered. I start recalibrating my attention toward cues that only exist in the simulation. The exact rhythm of a reaction, the exact tilt of light across a collarbone, the absence of uncontrolled chaos. And soon, the real becomes disappointing. The world starts to feel poorly directed or irritating because I can't regenerate an improved variation. We've always performed, I've always performed, but now the stage is algorithmic. Every prompt I write becomes a version of the channel, not in the image, but in the choice. The choice is the expression. When I ask the machine for something, I'm not revealing its mind. I'm revealing my intent, and maybe that's the most unnerving part. These aren't curated content. They're symptoms of a new kind of obsessive-compulsive disorder, and it won't stay private. This channel's archive will become the collective source material. 1 million fictional memories will merge into the public record. And ultimately, the disputes won't be over what happened. They'll be over which archive we trust. And the scariest possibility, we'll stop caring about the difference altogether. There's a point when the simulation and the recollection begin to share the same texture. Not a confusion, a merger, a slow erosion of the seam between what I've seen and what I've lived. It's not that I can't tell the difference, it's that the difference starts to feel irrelevant. And irrelevance is the real border crossing. I think I'm just watching. I'm not. I'm rehearsing for a future where almost all my memories are composed. The loop is simple. I create the scene shapes me. I create the next one to match the new shape. It feels like progress. It's just choreography. The choreography becomes the person. The performance becomes the truth. And one day, the last thing I will remember that's unquestionably real will be a simulation I didn't recognize as such yet. But when that day comes, I guess it won't really matter. If you're still watching, you already know. You belong here. So go ahead, click the thing, sink in, and welcome to the Aquarium.